People living near some of the world's most dangerous materials are getting new instructions just in case disaster strikes. What you need to know to be prepared for an emergency in East Tennessee.
Plus, weighing in on a possible high school split, the state's athletic association considers a move that could end rivalries and change the look of high school sports.
And an international standoff could have an impact on grocery store shelves all across the U.S. and right here in East Tennessee.
10 News is brought to you in high definition exclusively by Harper Auto Square. You are watching WBIR TV, Channel 10, Knoxville. The news starts now.
A windy day takes its toll on East Tennessee. High winds this afternoon pulled off several panels on the Jumbotron at Neyland Stadium.
UT says it still is assessing the damage, but the area below is now blocked off, just in case more pieces fall off. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Robin Wilhoit.
And I'm John Becker. Today's high winds were just the start, as a big shift in temperatures is also happening as we speak.
That's right. And with that said, we want to check in with Chief Meteorologist Todd Howe out on the weather porch. Are you having to hold on tight given all the wind, Todd?
You know, we're kind of buffered a little bit by the Channel 10 building here. I can look up at the flags, not seeing the full effect of the wind right here, but I tell you what, and we're getting a little bit of warmth from the studio with the door open, but I can feel that chill in the air, and the winds are still blustery, and it will continue to get much colder tonight with those blustery winds. Even a little bit of very light rain, some drizzle, soon to be light snow showers and flurries falling. Can you believe that? Yesterday, 74. Big difference in temperatures continuing to filter into East Tennessee now. Well, I hope you're having a good, safe Wednesday. Let's check out the very latest and look at the temperatures right now. We're continuing to see those temperatures falling. 44 degrees in Knoxville, 42 in Oak Ridge, 37 in Crossville, 40 in Middlesboro, 38 in London, Kentucky. London, Kentucky, you've got mixed precipitation with some snow showers kind of knocking on your doorstep here shortly in the next hour. And we'll see those light snow showers develop this evening across the higher terrain especially. Well, current wind gusts, 23 mile per hour wind gust in Knoxville, 33 mile per hour wind gust in Middlesboro, Kentucky. The wind advisory continues through 11 p.m. tonight. Bundle up. It's going to be a blustery and very cold night. We're talking wind chills in the teens later on tonight with air temperatures in the 20s, and a winter weather advisory for Harlan County, Kentucky, also for the mountains of Tennessee as northwesterly winds continue to strengthen. Now again, a little bit of very light rain and drizzle currently falling here in Knoxville, but some of that precipitation becoming mixed up toward London, Kentucky. That's what we're seeing right now. Some of that rain mixing with the change into snow shortly, and there will be a chance for some light snow showers developing right there between 8 p.m. and midnight tonight. I'll be back with the rest of your forecast. Hopefully this cold snap is a brief one and short-lived. John and Robin, that forecast coming up.
All right, Todd, thanks.
Some of the most dangerous materials known to man are housed in our backyard, and now the state's emergency management agency is redrawing the escape routes for the more than 50,000 people who live and work in the Oak Ridge area. WBIR 10 News reporter Mary Scott looks at who is in the emergency zone and why we all should be prepared.
If you grow up in Oak Ridge, you know the possibility of an emergency at Y-12, the former K-25 site, or ORNL is not out of the question.
It's not something that I live in constant fear or danger, or, are really too worried about it.
But what many folks we talked to didn't know is what to do if that happens.
They test the siren system every month, and I've kind of wondered about what you should do if you hear it. I assume that you're supposed to turn on the TV or radio. But there really hasn't been a lot of details given to us over the years.
Tennessee's Emergency Management Agency and the Department of Energy are constantly evaluating their plan if chemicals or radiation were released off-site. Wednesday, they announced an updated impact zone with changes to the boundaries.
We actually put Oliver Springs within the area.
The emergency zone covers a 4-county area and has about a 5-mile radius around each of the Department of Energy sites. About 50,000 people live or work in this area.
We don't want a lot of people just leaving without guidance. We need people to listen and follow directions.
Officials have divided it into sections and assigned each section with a specific evacuation route and shelter.
It's part of our requirement to educate.
Those routes are included in an online booklet. It also tells people what to pack in a kit and just how rare an emergency at the sites would be. The agency says this information is important for everyone, whether you live in this zone or not.
if you're prepared for the worst thing that could happen, you're probably prepared for most things that could happen.
The information has residents who've never seen the map before giving it a close look.
And just knowing that I'm supposed to go to Anderson County High School right now would be useful. It is good to know what to do in case, you know.
Mary Scott, WBIR 10 News.
And again, those leaders with the state say the risk is low for a major emergency. We are adding the detailed map of escape routes to our website, WBIR.com.
A proposal to split up student competition between private and public schools is on hold for now. The Tennessee Secondary School Athletic Association voted 7-2 this afternoon to first form a committee to research the possible long-term effects. Now, the TSSAA executive director says they didn't want to make a knee-jerk reaction to a proposal that rewrites bylaws of an organization with a nearly 90-year history. The push for the split comes out of 2 Middle Tennessee counties, but the changes would affect the entire state. A bill to improve electrical safety at marinas is moving on to the full Senate thanks to a passionate plea from an East Tennessee mother.
And from the depths of my soul, I wish I had no reason to sit here in front of you today.
That is Jessica Winstead of Morristown speaking to a Senate committee this afternoon to push for the Noah Dean and Nate Marina Safety Act. That's named for Winstead's son, Noah Dean, and his best friend, Nate Lynham. The two boys were electrocuted in 2012 while swimming at a Cherokee Lake marina. The Noah Dean and Nate bill would require marinas to install safety breakers that automatically shut off the power when the water is electrified. The bill also calls for annual inspections of marinas. Winstead says after Noah and Nate died, investigators found several electrical code violations at the marina.
These violations were only found as a result of my son's death. The bill that I'm proposing would end after the fact inspections.
If the bill passes, the state fire marshal's office says it will conduct those annual inspections at marinas.
We are taking a closer look at what happens to the tens of thousands of wanted felons who get away by crossing state or county lines. Even just going a couple of miles, they manage to escape justice, and some commit new violent crimes. WBIR 10 News reporter Jennifer Meckles is in our information center with one Tennessee tie and a grieving family. Jennifer?
Thank you, John. Our partners at USA Today got a hold of a never-before-seen FBI database that counts wanted felons. If they flee, extraditing these people can be very expensive and it involves jumping through lots of legal hoops. So often police do not go after them, even if another department has the fugitive in custody. Tonight on 10 News Night Beat, we're going to revisit an East Tennessee family that lost 2 members, Ricky Jacobson and Dominic Davis. They were 2 of the 4 people killed on Renegade Mountain in Cumberland County in September. The man accused of shooting them, Jacob Bennett, was a fugitive from Florida. Each time Tennessee had him in custody prior to those murders, Florida police would not come get him.
You commit a crime, you need to pay for it. It's not, well, we don't got the money to do it, so you know what, we're just gonna let it ride. You know, letting them ride, look what happened. 4 people are now dead because they chose not to do anything about it.
Tonight on the Night Beat, we will jump into this case just a little deeper and hear more from Jacobson and Davis's families. Until then, we encourage you to check out our website for a link to the national investigation by USA Today and a tool there that lets you search the FBI fugitive database at home. Back to you guys.
Some good resources, Jennifer. Thank you.
Well, your favorite cheese could soon go by a different name here in America. That's because the European Union now wants exclusive rights to names like Feta, Asiago, and Parmesan, which all came from their turf. 10 News reporter Ashley Isbicki has more on this possible change and how it could impact local farms. Ashley?
Robin, Parmesan originated in Parma, Italy, and Feta from Greece. According to the Associated Press, the EU is arguing American versions cut into their sales. U.S. dairy producers say the label changes, though, could hurt the domestic industry by $4 billion. But one local cheesemaker says it won't hurt his business, and he says the Europeans actually make a good point.
If you cruise through Blackberry Farm, nature's sounds echo through the 4,200 acres set in the foothills, including the bleating of sheep. Their milk is used to make their distinct cheeses.
We make everything from soft-ripened cheeses to blue cheeses.
Ryan Berger has been the head cheesemaker for over a year. He says he takes techniques from the old European style, but the distinct local taste defines the label.
for our kind of camembert style cheese, we take the idea of a white blooming flower, because it is a white bloomy cheese that we make, and name it the Magnolia.
Berger says unique and creative names are nothing new.
Most small dairies and artisan dairies around the country that I know of are not really trying to take anybody else's name.
But mass producers like Kraft are fighting the possible changes, claiming the cheese names are considered generic in the U.S. A company spokesman told the Associated Press the restrictions could be costly to food makers and confusing for customers.
If you have a green shaker cup, they're still going to buy that cheese-like product, whether it says Parmesan or not.
Berger says he enjoys deciding what name will be printed, like the Downer Brown.
And we have some of it ready to be sent out for sale.
He says no matter how you slice it, you can't copy perfection.
Like a Parma ham has to come from Parma, or Champagne has to come from Champagne, you know. So why not Parmesan be only from Parma as well?
Now, the UE made agreements recently with both Canada and Central America where European cheeses names are restricted if it wasn't made in Europe. So, for example, feta products are going to be marketed as feta-like or feta-style. No word yet on exactly what the EU is proposing with the United States. Robin and John.
All right. Ashley, thanks for that.
The big chill is on in East Tennessee. Coming up, we're going to check in with Todd to see how low we will go tonight with those temperatures.
Plus, remembering the storm of the century 21 years ago. Hard to believe. Looking back at that very snowy-filled anniversary.
And a little later in sports, kicking off the boys basketball state tournament highlights as two East Tennesseans face off and hope to keep their championship dreams alive.
Plus, hitting the road with awards in tow, the Vols head to Atlanta for the SEC tournament.
Straight from the heart of East Tennessee, this is 10 News at 6.
So far this winter, we have experienced roller coaster weather with our fair share of snow, of course, but it still cannot compare to what hit us 21 years ago today. The flakes started falling on March 12th, 1993, in what became known as the storm of the century. Here in East Tennessee, of course, more than a foot of snow dropped through the area. Many people were stranded, left without power for days. And all it takes is looking at those pictures again, and it all comes rushing back. I remember it well.
So hard to believe drifts that high in East Tennessee, in the valley.
Exactly. And it took a little while for it to go away.
Above your waist, about 3 to 4 foot drifts in the valley, 9 foot drifts in the Smoky Mountains.
Was up in a Black Hawk over the Smokies when they were trying to rescue people, and it was amazing the amount of snow up there.
Wow. Intense. Third biggest snow on record for Knoxville. The biggest was 18 inches in 1952, a November storm. How about that? Well, let's take a look at the very latest wind advisory in place right now. We're looking at some strong gusty winds that could continue as we head through this evening until 11 p.m. Some breezy winds. These blustery northwest winds will also be ushering in the colder air tonight, so bundle up, dress warmly. And we're also looking at a chance for those light snow showers and flurries. Looking ahead to tomorrow for Thursday, a breezy morning. The winds will gradually relax, about 10 to 15 miles per hour by afternoon. And good news, a sunny but still kind of chilly day tomorrow, but we do dry back out and slowly warm up into Friday. But tonight, a winter weather advisory until 4 a.m. for the mountains of Tennessee, also Harlan County and Kentucky. So we got the wind advisory, got a winter weather advisory for the higher elevations. Several inches of snow depicted here, mainly in the higher elevations above 2,500 feet. Little or no accumulations expected in the valley. There could be a very light dusting on the mulch or grass, elevated objects, and some of these snow bands and light snow flurries that develop this evening and overnight. Also in Kentucky, could see maybe a half inch to an inch or so. We're seeing mixed precipitation in Middlesboro up toward Harlan County, Kentucky right now along the Tennessee and Kentucky border. Matter of fact, northwest flow starting to bring back in some of this light precipitation, and that will be wrung out of the atmosphere. Notice the northwesterly winds running perpendicular to the mountains, and we're also seeing the snow breaking out in the mountains now. And that's that northwest flow that will certainly bring more snow showers to the higher terrain. Up in Kentucky, London and Laurel County, we're seeing that mixed precipitation. So this is where what we're going to experience. There could be a few slick spots on bridges and overpasses in parts of Kentucky, Virginia, and northern sections of East Tennessee. So certainly bundle up tonight if you have to be out and about, and drive carefully if you encounter some of these snow bands and snow showers that rotate through the area. Look at this line of strong to severe thunderstorms in Greensboro, North Carolina, heading over toward Raleigh. Thankfully, we didn't have too much storm activity earlier today. There's a look at the light snow showers and flurries. These will last until just after midnight, and then we'll see clearing conditions as we head into our Thursday morning. Cold start in the 20s, and then we'll see sunshine returning. It will be a chilly day, though. The high today in Knoxville, 68. That was just after midnight. We stayed in the 60s this morning, and the low so far, 44. Just 6/100ths of precipitation of rain. Not a lot of rain with this system. Some light rain and drizzle falling right now. 44 degrees. There are the winds. Northwest at 16, and the pressure still falling. We're looking at temperatures in Oak Ridge, 42 degrees, Crossville 37, 38 in London. But as we look at those lows tonight, middle 20s with wind chill values tonight in the teens. And there's a look at regional temperatures, 29 in Indianapolis, 44 in Nashville. And so we've definitely got the colder air. This is a high-impact snowstorm, especially across northern New England. Snowfall rates greater than 2 inches per hour, and they could see 1 to 2 feet north of this low pressure. There's the severe weather in North Carolina, and there are the blustery winds ringing out those light snow showers and flurries for tonight. Colder but drier for your Thursday. Hey, good news. Friday looks to warm up rapidly with a high near 60. So here's your forecast tonight, 26. Bundle up. Light snow showers, mountain snow, breezy and colder. And tomorrow, sunny, breezy, but chilly, 45, near 60 Friday. Scattered showers early Saturday and again late Sunday, but seasonal temperatures this weekend. John Robb.
Todd, thank you.
Courtney joins us with a new addition for the Titans.
Yeah, and they're going to get a lot out of this guy, too. Of course, the newest Titan was introduced in Nashville this afternoon. Ken Wisenhunt planning to get a ton out of this guy. Dexter McCluster made his deal official today with the team. McCluster comes from the Chiefs, where he was a slot receiver and a punt returner, but the Titans are hoping to use him in the backfield as well. McCluster's deal is for 3 years and $12 million. The Boys State Tournament started today in Murfreesboro. Oak Ridge and Jefferson County met in the quarterfinals. Winner would advance to face Arlington in the semifinals. Wildcats are going to push it up the floors. We take a look at some of the action now. Javante G going all the way. Nice take there. Oak Ridge up by 4. Jefferson County would have to play catch up. Bryce Cusick just inside the arc, knocks down the jumper. Patriots down 4. Second quarter, Oak Ridge kicking it out. You've heard this name before. Jalen Henderson with a nice touch on the floater right here. 21-13 Wildcats. Oak Ridge would hit back-to-back threes just before the half, and they led 32-18 at the break. Jefferson County coming off with a missed free throw right here. Kyle Briggs fighting for the rebound and the putback. He had 14 points and 10 rebounds. Wildcats running. Isaac Marion. Oh, yeah. Oak Ridge in front by 16 now. Fourth quarter, Kevin Steen takes it away. He is gone all the way. Oak Ridge boots Jeffco out of the tournament. They win 66-45. They're going to face Arlington on Friday in the semifinals. The SEC tournament is less than 24 hours away for the Vols, and they're on their way to Atlanta right now. Tennessee is taking more honors with them, too. Today, Jarnell Stokes and Jordan McRae were named to the National Basketball Coaches Association All-District 21 first and second teams, respectively. Yesterday, the duo claimed first-team All-SEC honors, and Josh Richardson landed on the SEC All-Defensive team.
Happy for them, and I expected both those guys at the pace they were on, especially where they finished down the stretch, to be first-team guys. And it was just as important and great for me to see Josh make first-team all defense. And I thought he did a great job really down the stretch of solidifying his spot in that crew, because there's some great guys in there, guys that defend, guys that block shots, guys that get steals. Normally, guys that's a shutdown defender doesn't always get the due he deserves. It's normally guys that get steals and block shots. And I thought he did a great job down the stretch of sealing it up.
Over to the Diamond now. The number 2 Lady Vols softball team put their non-conference schedule behind them last night. Tennessee run-rolled Western Carolina, and they won 15-0. Annie Aldretti hit a grand slam in the 3rd inning to help boost the Lady Vols lead. Tennessee now heads to Arkansas for a 3-game set starting Friday. The Big Orange are 22-2, but they know a tough SEC waits for them.
There's no breaks. Every team is good, no matter if you're the number 1 team in the conference or the last place team in the conference. Anybody can beat you on any given day, and every team is strong. I mean, last year we sent 11 out of 13 to NCAA regionals, so that tells you how strong the SEC is.
I remember my freshman year, everybody you can talk about how challenging it is, but until you actually get in and start playing, you're not really ever prepared for it.
Action starting on Friday. Well, that'll do it for sports. More after this. Stay with us.
If you love sweets and you're a kid at heart, that's us, there is a place in East Tennessee where it's just like paradise.
Here's a classic from Ken.
Sitting here in the middle of downtown Caryville is this small brick building. It's a cheerful, fun-looking place, and the sign gave us hope that there may be something sweet in our future. And we weren't disappointed when we went inside. Yep, this small building is packed to the gills with untold amounts of candy, containing even untolder amounts of calories. But that didn't matter to kids like this who came in to fill their baskets with candy. Sure, fruit and veggies would have been better for him, but he was as happy as a kid in a candy store. And so it appears is Vilma Miller, the Philippine-born owner.
I really like to carry like an old-time candy.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly that is where I started. I started around 2-3 boxes like that one when I lost my job.
So Mrs. Miller went from 2 or 3 boxes of candy to a store full of every kind of candy your little taste buds can think of.
You
have enough candy to keep a dentist in business the rest of his life.
Yeah, they dentists maybe love me.
Lily's Candyland was named after Mrs. Miller's daughter, although now she looks like this. Mrs. Miller seems to love what she does and loves giving guided tours through the place. Have you ever tried a Pop Rock?
Yeah.
What do you think? I assume you don't like it.
I know, but you get it pop in your mouth, especially when you drink the pop on it.
Hinchwald 10 News.
Oh, I remember Pop Rocks.
Yeah, boy.
Ow. Okay, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching.
Good night.